everybody, I'm used to it. You
All
know,
right.
everyone's been jacking up my name since like preschool. So like,
So Isaiah Venegas.
yeah,
Yes, yes, yes.
yeah,
All right, cool. So yeah, this interview will just be about, your artistry, how long you've been in the game. I've seen how long you've been in the game, but we're gonna talk about your experience and where you're going from here, man.
yeah, for sure, for sure.
All right.
Well, first of
So,
all, I mean, thank you for
oh,
your time and what you're doing, and I do really appreciate this,
sure.
this interview. I mean, wherever it goes, so hey,
Let's see where it goes, brother.
where it goes.
All right,
So
so yeah, man. So you've been in the game for almost 30 years as an instrumentalist, with the saxophone, piano, and you've been a 20-year vet in production as well, man. So
yeah.
yeah, how did you get started?
Well, I mean, it's in school,
Yeah.
my parents wanted to keep me busy. So I was like, what, like the fifth grade when I got started playing, but I progressed really quick.
Hmm.
And so by the time I was like 13, I was already playing like in bars and stuff like that, we were playing with the older cats, like all these older dudes. And that's how I got my nickname was Shotgun with Shotty, Shotgun, and I'll get into more a little bit about that later. But it's after a Junior Walker and the All Stars song, Shotgun, and that because I was so young and I I sat in with this one band one time and here's this little kid sitting in with them, about to lead them on one of the most famous saxophone solos in front of a bunch of people, and I'm put on the spot, and they're like, "You don't know that song?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know it, like note for note." And they're like, "Oh, okay, let's see," and then I played it like just like the record, and then they're like, and then the guy's like, "Oh, it's the shotgun right there," So and then I played with those same guys, quite often after that, and they just like, it was the shotgun right there. So I just kind of ran with it, like, and and then product, and then when I started my label, I mean, in my early adulthood,
Hmm.
um, like one of my rapper buddies, he shortened it for me. So rest in peace to my boy Philosophy. So yeah, man.
Mm, yeah. Rest in peace, brother.
Yeah, yeah.
So how was it? I mean, you're that young, being inside bars, seeing all of this take place. How was that like the experience being that young and accomplishing that? Because that's not an experience most people have. That's something most
Right.
don't have at all.
Yeah, right. It was just really surreal,
Mhm.
and of course I'm going through my, growing up and getting that experience, and to me it was just like going to like a restaurant with my parents. That's how I saw it, except I'm around, you know, booze and stuff, and I'm not they're keeping a close eye on me, making sure I don't, drink and all that. But like I wasn't interested in drinking. I just wanted to play. So yeah.
All right. So current day, let's talk about your production, man, because I listened to your tracks. You got the skills. You are pretty dang talented, man. What is like what got you into production specifically?
Oh, that's a good thing. So I started a 9-piece band in high school, for like a battle of the bands kind of thing and whatever, and of course it's all like all my friends and stuff, and then one of my boys, who was like the only guy in my school like doing rapping at that time,
Mhm.
and he was part of the band to do some raps like live,
Yeah.
and but so after practice, we would always like, get together, and he would say, "Hey, I need someone to make me beats," like, and I was the only person like with the musical knowledge
Mhm.
to put together stuff like that, and you just didn't hear about that at that time. This is like in the
Yeah.
late '90s, um, so yeah, I mean, we got started. I started making beats for my boy, and then we were making them on like cassette tape and stuff, bro. Like, rigging up all these,
Yeah.
cassette recorders and our boom boxes to record our beats and stuff, and making our own little, mixtapes and stuff. So that's how we got started, man.
Oh man. So in the present day, you've been producing for quite a while now. Who are you working with, to continue making songs? So like, I'm gonna make this beat for this person, or make the beat for this person, or I got a request here. Who are you like making the beats for these days?
I mean, well, these days, just whoever I feel like is going to do something with their music, like, and it's no one like any big names or anyone
Yeah.
that like it's going to be
Mhm.
popular or right now.
Mhm.
But I am working with a couple of up and comers right now, but not in a production sense. More of like I'm a live musician for them,
Yeah.
and we're part of a camp. That's the camp is led by a couple of some some bodies,
Yeah.
and so I'm right now as a live musician, just you know still earning my stripes, still in a sense, like like because all the last like several years, all my production has been going to like TV placements and stuff like that. It wasn't like I was an artist directly and stuff, and it was until COVID actually kind of changed the game for me in a lot of ways.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I mean, like now well, one of the artists I'm playing for live, I mean, his name is Coda the Barber,
Yeah.
and his bosses are Baby Bash and Danny Trejo, the actor, and
Some heavy
so
names.
yeah, some heavy names. Yeah, so we're part of this like Soldies movement right now, and in SoCal or on the West Coast,
Mhm.
it's categorized or not. It's related to like a lot of the lowrider movement and stuff,
Yeah.
and they love their oldies. The people who love lowriders, they love their oldies, and so that's our like demographic, playing for them and all that. So and it's cool because I got to play a lot of covers of like stuff that my grandparents used to listen to, my
Mhm.
parents used to listen to, stuff I listened to growing up. Um, but even some of the original music that's being pumped out has got like this very old and vintage sound
Mhm.
to it, and we've seen a lot of other big artists like kind of mess around with that sound as well. I mean, Amy Winehouse, Stevie Wonder's done it, but so we're just continuing like that sound still, and so yeah, we're doing some things, and Baby Bash, in a different part of his career now. I mean, he's still performing and everything, but he's now a boss now, and he's, so they're helping people like myself who've never really had like that connections or like the voice for them, you know they're leading the way for them, and getting them exposure. So that's really pretty much, I mean, my journey really hasn't, I because the way I took my journey, the direction I went the independent route, right? And so like I wasn't trying to put stuff out like to land placements. I was doing stuff for my own camp and trying
Mhm.
to get them established and stuff. And
Mhm.
I mean, we had like a good little run, and things happen, people start
Yeah.
going to school, having families. So my label, we kind of like dissolved in that way, amicably, but it's been quite a journey though, quite
Yeah.
for sure, for sure. So yeah, man. Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty interesting journey nonetheless, man. And the people who you're connected with now, I mean, first off, how many how many cover well, no, that'll be a bad way to put it. In terms of covers, how long does it normally take you to like learn something like that and then go, okay, I have it mastered now. Now I get to perform it out there. How long does it like normally take you for something like that? Because you're very
Oh,
talented.
yeah. Not very long, honestly. I mean, sometimes we'll get I mean, we'll figure it out, right? Like kind of not like on the spot, but like at a rehearsal. Like we'll like for example, Coda, the guy who we play for, he
Yeah.
would tell our band like, hey, like I need to learn this song. So like the following rehearsal, we'll take the time to learn it as a group and figure out like the chords and the voicings, all that. So yeah, I mean, it'll take about about a rehearsal, but maybe a little bit longer, to just to kind of do. We still kind of do our homework as well. We
Yeah.
go home and kind of listen to the track over and kind of get the little intricacies of our parts and get that down as well. But I mean, yeah, it's not very long, really. I mean,
Yeah.
these songs are not they're not really too complicated.
Mm,
Back then they weren't doing crazy stuff with like like a bajillion chords and
yeah.
like even like the chord voicings too, or like weren't like they were just your basic major and minor chord back then. And to keep it appropriate to the era, I mean, same thing. We're not doing like, like Robert Glasper kind of voicing or something like that. So yeah, man, it's not hard.
All right, cool, cool, cool. So this year, 2023, you're doing great things. I've seen you do a couple of festivals. I've took a look down your Instagram, man. You perform, brother. What is like the overall goal for you for this year as a musician or an instrumentalist?
My goal really is to just to land just more work as a producer. You get the ball rolling down the hill, basically. Get someone to recognize me for my talents. Someone establish someone a placement somewhere. So that's really my goals. Just to be uh you know doing music like full time, like
And that's the thing. Like, as someone as talented as yourself, what what ways is like the right way to go about putting yourself out there, you know? That's like the thing
oh
that you have to like
man.
figure out.
Well, like my journey has been so long and it's always been different. The music industry and technology has
Mhm.
changed so much over the years. But back then, and it was like you saw a lot of dudes like always like pushing like their mixtapes out the trunk of their car or something, handing them out like and now it's like, well, it's not. People aren't consuming music on hard,
Yeah.
something analog. Excuse me. But people are streaming and stuff, and
Mhm.
people are on social media. Everything's social media and streaming driven. And so like it's all about like getting an algorithm going on Spotify or
Yeah.
um, or someone to do a dance to one of your songs or something. That's how people are blowing up these
Yeah.
days. So I'm like, well, like I'm a it's funny because I the funny thing is I study. It's gonna sound wrong, but this is how I go about it.
Mhm.
But like sometimes you see like these songs that they blow up, but they're like it's like these girls doing like these nasty dances
Yeah.
to them, right?
Yeah.
And so I study those songs, not to check out the dancing,
Yeah.
right? But it's like, oh, like, that's a dope beat, like they're
Yeah.
doing something, like what is it about like that song that there's so many people wanting to use that song to do the latest dance or the latest trend. And so like I study the trends in the music industry that way. Well, that's one of the ways. But it is a thing. So like as a creator, as a producer or a composer, you're of course, to stay fresh or stay in the game, you want to, like, create stuff that people are going to want to hear. And of course, keeping it true to yourself as well. Keep, making stuff that pleases you as well. But like, if you're a business person, you have to be a business person also. You create what's popular, and
Mhm.
so if you hear a lawnmower, I have landscapers
I know, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool.
outside. So,
It's like hailing out here.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, here it's well, we had like a little here in Cali. It's overcast today, but like the
Oh,
last like few days has been on the warm side. But
oh man, you guys are so lucky. In terms of
dude,
weather, you guys are
no,
so
no, oh, no. Honestly, seriously, like, well, I'm okay. So where I'm at, like,
yeah,
where Malibu, California is at.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I'm the next town up over
Mm,
from Malibu. So we're about, I would say, 15-20 minutes away from Malibu, north of, and
mm.
we got snow about a month ago
What? Oh my
on the
god.
coastal on at near the water, like near the ocean.
Oh my
We
goodness.
got snow, like it's some crazy weather. We call it earthquake weather around here. So it was crazy. We're like, all right, earthquake's gonna happen.
Oh, sweet
But
Jesus. All right. With that being said, I just got, just two more questions.
sure.
One, do you have any projects that you're looking to put out this year, or any projects that you're looking to work on?
Yeah. Well, really, it's been hard for me to be creative
Mhm,
the last like few months. My a lot of my journey since COVID has been with a lot of loss,
mhm,
and it started when at COVID I lost my job, and after that I had lost my engagement,
mhm,
8 years, and then I lost my grandmother at home very shortly after that. Then and then I almost lost my life at a gig, and then recently I lost my sister in this past November, and then right after my sister, one of my boys that was in my label, we lost him, and then recently I lost a cousin about a couple weeks ago, and so next week we bury him, and but my sister, I mean, definitely she that I was uh, that it's been really hard to be creative while you're grieving. And I've been grieving, well, the last like few years. It just seems like it's hard to get over every loss, and then recover after that. Um, so, but I hope to kind of get back and like back creating,
mhm,
and my goal is to really be create and land something with someone. I also have a project where I'm gonna start a website as well, where I'm gonna be selling my services, my beads and stuff like that, marketing myself, and I have a marketing campaign I want to put along with that as well. So I'm looking forward to some success in that. But yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping just to be creative again, like where I'm just be pumping out stuff, and then I'm pretty motivated though right now,
mhm.
just because that's what my sister would have wanted me to do, so uh,
Yeah, yeah. And I can only imagine how difficult it is trying to remain creative or get back in your groove after experiencing such like, loss after loss like that, man. Um, when stuff like that happens, what's like the first like what's like the first I want to say mental path that you like say, hey, I want to go down. I not necessarily need to go down this direction, but I feel like this will be the best direction to go in now that I've experienced. X, Y, and Z happening, back to back to back. What's like the direction that you say, hey, I need to do this first?
Um, well, it's a very good question. I would say I've always had like a direction to go into,
Yeah.
um, and it's always been in my heart to like stay the path,
Mhm.
um, and not veer off course, into depression or something, and which actually has affected my health. Depression really fighting that, like especially like. One of the accomplishments I've completed was actually finishing school at Berkeley, and so, but like after that, like finding employment,
Mhm.
right, to use like my whatever I trained for, like finding employment after that has been difficult, and then when you're grieving, it's like the disappointment hurts even much more, because you're it just it just hits you harder, basically, you know it's like you're in a boxing match, and then all of a sudden the boxer's got nails and gloves all of a
Yeah.
sudden,
Yeah.
you know uh but I still remain the path, and so there's a lot of prayer that goes involved, is involved, and I'm very solid in my faith as well, and but I would say prayer is very important, to keep steadfast. So
Absolutely. And with prayer, with everything happening in your life, I have to ask, what's next for you in terms of like being a live performer or being, just overall a musician overall. Yeah.
well, a lot of people have been pushing me to do like like the artist stuff, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, they see me perform live, and I get, you're a great musician and all that, whatever. And to honestly, to me, I'm like, well, I still need a lot of work. I mean, there are local guys here who are more skilled than I am,
Mhm.
but they're like, "Well, you should do the artist thing," and I get all that, but production has been like my heart, like really, like, and like the artist work. That's like, for me, that's like later, like
Yeah.
what I do want to do is, you know, gain some notoriety as a producer first, and then uh, artist work later. Um, so.
Awesome, awesome, man. And let's definitely see where this goes. My final question to you, is there anything else you want to put out there for the world? Let the people know.
I'm sorry. Any
I
what?
said my last question is there anything else that you want to put out there to the world? Let the people know, any message or anything that you want to say, your social medias, anything like that?
Just keep supporting,
Mhm.
and just don't forget your boy. Like,
Yeah.
just anything. Just check me out, and any likes, or listens, and it helps me out. So.
Absolutely. Where can people find you on like SoundCloud or Instagram or TikTok?
Oh yeah, I just started a TikTok actually.
Yeah.
I'm late to the train on that. So on TikTok, you can find me at the real Shotty on the beat.
Mm.
That's my handle. Uh, and then on IG, Isaiah Venegas underscore Shotty. Uh, Facebook under Isaiah Venegas. Yeah, and then you type in any of those words right there in SoundCloud, you'll find me. You'll see a picture of me on SoundCloud. So, and on YouTube too,
Yeah.
Isaiah Venegas. So
Absolutely. Thank you very much, man.
appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate your work and anything that you're doing, man. And let's keep in touch, man.
Oh, for sure.